Hello everyone and welcome to the Gameweek 3 deadline stream. Thanks so much for everyone that has joined in early. We did leave a pinned comment if we can try and hit 9k subs on stream. We're currently at 8.96k, so we're nearly there. If you lads haven't subscribed and you're enjoying the stream or enjoy the videos, please feel free to subscribe so we can try and hit 9k on stream. That'd be so hype. First of all, let's just address some early questions from the lads. Ninja Swing 07, Captain Salah or Jesus? We'll go through our team a bit later. We'll go through who we've captained. I mean, I'd probably be leaning towards Salah just because I think the effective ownership will be higher on that man. Jones, let's go, mate. Yeah, come on then. Flores, Robbo and Walker or Diaz and a 4.5 defender. I mean, I'd stick with Robbo and Walker this week. I mean, obviously, Man City got a great fixture. Newcastle away is also solid again for another clean sheet. So I think I'd stick with those two lads for now. Triple captain Jesus. Imagine the scenes. It's a good fixture for it. Gross or Eze? I'll probably go Gross. Unknown Shadow. Hello, mate. Welcome to the stream. Walker or Zinchenko for this week? Maybe Zinchenko because he offers a bit more attacking potential. I think both teams will get clean sheets. Ninja. Playing Trent, Cancelo, Reece James, Zinchenko, Perisic back five. Very strong back five. Hopefully Perisic starts for you. That's another thing that we'll be discussing. I think he's probably the most likely to start this week out of any week so far this season. He's come off the bench twice now. He got himself an assist. Sessegnon wasn't the greatest in game week 2. So we could potentially be seeing a debut start for Perisic with a very good fixture of Wolves at home who don't tend to score too many goals. In his midfield, though, Salah, Martinelli, Gross, very nice, and Haaland, Jesus up top. Very good team, mate. Very good team. Sharap rolling the transfer this week with Bailey to Patterson. Okay, and Madison or Kulu. Leicester have Southampton at home. Kulu has Wolves. I'd probably... It's a tough pick. Maybe Kulusevski just because I think his future fixtures I like a little bit more. We'll have a look at him. We'll pull him up real quick. Hopefully. There we are. I mean, yeah, I probably just prefer Kulusevski for this little run here. That Spurs attack could be nice to target. Obviously, not many people do have Spurs attackers right now. No one's really got Kulusevski, Son, or Kane at the moment. I think Son actually had a price decrease as well. So, yeah, that kind of shows that not too many people are jumping on their attack. But yeah, Wolves, Forest, West Ham, Fulham as the next 4 could be the time to target their players. Jesus hat-trick game week 3 could be on. I mean, Bournemouth, it's a good fixture. He's coming off 19 points in game week 2, so definitely a good differential captain. I still think Salah's going to be the most popular captain this week. So actually, yeah, put a poll out. Let's chuck a poll out, actually. Who is your Game Week 3 captain? Salah, Jesus, other. Let's chuck it out. Leave a vote in the poll. Hopefully that's worked. Yeah, leave a vote in the poll. Who is your Game Week 3 captain? Let me know. I want to see who people are going with. But yes, here is the squad for now. If anyone missed the team selection videos, the changes that we made was actually Reece James coming into the squad for Robertson, which obviously, yeah, can seem a bit controversial, but I would recommend a lot of people to hold on to Robertson. But with the way our team was set up without having Reece James, I think it was a good move to move him in. 44% ownership. He's got a good fixture, Leeds away this week in 8 great upcoming fixtures, whereas, you know, Robbo's got Manchester United away. Probably this week is no clean sheet. You'd expect Manchester United to score at home, but I think for our team, I think that was the right move. Otherwise, if you've got Reece James in the side already, I would not be too concerned about moving out Robertson. But for us, that was the move that had to be made. That left us with 1.5 in the bank. We've still got Bailey in the squad at 4.9 million. Obviously looking to move him on in the future. We'll see how Gross goes this week. He's made a great start. If he performs again, then we could potentially bring him in. He's only 5.7. Good fixtures. West Ham away could be a little bit tricky, but then Leeds, Fulham, Leicester, Bournemouth, Palace. So a good chance to move him into the team. or also just monitoring those Leeds assets as well, because they've got a good fixture run coming up. So could go with those lads. But for now, we unfortunately had to tank that price decrease just because the move to Reece James was probably a bit more important at this current stage for our team, because I mean, Leeds away this week's a great fixture. He's so attacking. He's got great underlying stats so far, as we've touched on. Who will you bench in our squad? Well, let's have a look. Let's pull up the team. Here is the side this week. David Raya in goals, Fulham away. There's the back four. Patterson's actually starting right now. It's a very interesting starting 11. Two typically bench players starting. Patterson playing against Nottingham Forest at home, and Andreas Pereira playing against Brentford at home. On the bench, that means Trippier and Bailey both on the bench. Trippier's got Manchester City at home. I just don't think Newcastle get a clean sheet in this one. And Trippier, I mean, he hasn't got any attacking returns so far, but you know that Man City defence is very solid, so I'm not too sure if Newcastle are going to be able to score a goal in this one. And then Leon Bailey, because he's probably just going to come off the bench again. Andreas Pereira has been looking good, so I'd start Andreas Pereira over him in the midfield. And Patterson, Nottingham Forest at home. I mean, Everton at home, Nottingham Forest, it could potentially be a clean sheet. We'll have to see. Patterson's positions so far have been okay. He's been getting decently forward, not as much as Nico Williams, but potential clean sheet on the cards there for Everton. I think Everton in clean sheet against Forest probably has a higher chance than a Trippier clean sheet against Manchester City. That's just a thought process there. Neto, De Silva or Andreas Pereira. This week I'd probably lean towards Andreas Pereira. That Spurs defence should perform well against Wolves. Who should I captain, Son, Haaland or Jesus? Out of those lads, honestly, either Haaland or Jesus. I'd leave Son. Actually, the Wolves Spurs in the past has been very close. Last season, they beat us 1-0 at our ground, where it was a pen to Dele Alli, and then we beat them 2-0 at their ground. So, I mean, they're obviously a lot better this year, and we're not as good this year, so... Shocker, how would you rate this team? Trent, James, Zinchenko, Cancelo, Williams, Martinelli, De Silva, Gross, Salah, Kulu, Haaland, Jesus. Very solid team, mate. Very, very good team. I feel like keeping your head and being sensible and not knee-jerking transfers is how you'll win the marathon of FPL. Absolutely. That's a good call from Bem. Do you think Maddison will end up going to Spurs if they offer 60 mil late in the window? I mean, we'll have to see. It's a nice price for him, to be fair. I can't say, to be honest. I'm not too sure what the Leicester financial situation, how much they'll pay, how much they'll offer, or take, for Maddison. I have Neto, who just went down in price. Would you keep him? I think I'd still hold on to him. I mean, Spurs this week, but from memory, those Wolves fixtures after Spurs are pretty solid. I mean, Neto's underlying numbers have actually been pretty decent. He's getting well involved in their attack. I mean, maybe you could hold this week, and then he's got Newcastle, Bournemouth, Southampton, so you could see some formal returns there. But it's just monitor his minutes, obviously, with the new signings. Guedes there, and our new midfielder, Nunes. There's an extremely high chance that the United game gets cancelled if there are protests. So captaining Salah is not very clever for this week, I think. Well, that's possibly looking a bit too far in the future. We'll have to see. I mean, it's quite an extreme event that you have to be predicting. But Nico Williams to Cucurella, or Neto to Diaz and Robertson to Zinchenko. I mean, if you've got the 2 free transfers available, potentially the second move could be good. I mean, Nico Williams' fixture this week isn't actually that bad. You could potentially play him against Everton away. He could potentially be a good pick for this match. If you have the 2 free transfers available, I wouldn't mind the second move, but Cucurella is also a nice pick. What do you think about Cancelo, captain? He actually doesn't do too badly against Newcastle. I believe he's got back-to-back double-digit hauls at Newcastle's ground now. And he got 11 points last week. So, yeah, another good differential captain. I like him. Andreas in place of Neto. I think this week I'd be starting Andreas Pereira over Pedro Neto, for me, personally. When the transfer goes in for Guedes at Wolves and Nunes, do you think they'll get points? We'll have to see. I'm not sure too much about Nunes. He's more of a central midfielder / CDM type player, which typically is not the best for FPL. Whereas I think Guedes, if he performs, I believe he's 6 million at FPL. He could be a nice pick for sure. We'll have to see how he goes in the Premier League though. Obviously, it's a big adjustment for players coming outside of the Prem to the new league. But yeah, here's the squad right now. Also, other good differential captains, I'd say. Martinelli from Arsenal, also against Bournemouth. Jesus against Arsenal, against Bournemouth. And as one of the lads said in the chat, Cancelo against Newcastle away also could get a double-digit haul if he gets like that assist with the clean sheet. Then 5-2-3 formation. Wow, you don't see that formation too often. 2.5 in the bank. Ward, Trent, Cancelo, Walker, Cucurella, Reece James. Very strong defence. Martinelli, Salah, midfield. Haaland, Jesus, Tony. I mean, it's a strong starting 11. I like the Tony pick. I think if more managers switch to a 3-forward formation, then Tony is probably going to be the favourite third forward. If Mitrovic scores again, then it could also be Mitrovic. But yeah, Tony's looking solid so far, and he's got great upcoming fixtures. Definitely something to consider for our team if we ever wanted to upgrade Archer. We've got 2.5 in the bank. That would actually get us Archer to Tony if we wanted to do that move. We could actually do that. Something on the cards as well. That'd give us enough, and then we could bench either Patterson or Andreas Pereira this week and go. I mean, that'd be a very strong team already. That's if Bailey starts getting minutes, that's pretty much every single player in the squad playing, which is handy. Sulaiman, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. This is my team. What would you do? Edison, Trent, Cancelo, Robertson, Reece James, Nico Williams, Salah, Martinelli, Neto, Haaland, Jesus, subs, Bailey, Andreas, Archer, 1 mil in the bank. I mean, if you've got 2 free transfers, you can maybe make a move. But for now, I think that's a solid team, mate. I wouldn't make too many changes. It just depends who you want to start between Nico Williams and Andreas Pereira there on the bench. Robo to Reece James for a -4. It's probably not worth a -4, I don't think. At least for this week. I mean, that means you'd be at least expecting Reece James to outscore Robertson by 4, which is a bit of a punt. So you could potentially hold off that so far. I've been impressed, despite us selling Robertson, I've been impressed with his solid attacking positioning. It's just those Liverpool clean sheet situation, not the best, and then Manchester United this week. Should I keep Sancho or Neto? I'd probably prefer Neto over Sancho just because he's a lot cheaper. And he's looked a bit better so far. Ben Zaha, when his fixtures turn, you think he'll continue to play up? I think he's a great pick. When his fixtures turn, he's going to be a great option. Obviously, Crystal Palace have got tough fixtures to start. But we had him at the end of last season, and he was very good for us. He had a great end to last season. And he's looked very threatening so far this year. So definitely one to look out for in midfield. Again, if you've got like an 8 mil midfielder like a Saka or a Diaz that maybe goes out of form, or Diaz starts getting rotated or something, and Zaha's got that fixture turn, definitely something to look out for. You think he'll continue to play up front with Eze behind? I mean, I'll pull up the Spurs predicted lineup. I've got the formation there as well. I've currently got Zaha playing out wide, but he still gets into very good positions regardless of whether he plays out wide or up front. So I think that's not too much of a concern where his starting position is, because he always gets himself into good areas, that's for sure. But yeah, I think expect him to start on the wing. To answer the question, De Bruyne or Haaland as vice captain? I mean, vice captain is not a massive deal, but honestly, I've been really impressed with De Bruyne so far. So if you got him in the side, wouldn't mind him either. Best 8 mil midfielder at the moment. So between like all the major picks, Saka, Diaz, Kulusevski, Maddison. I like Diaz's fixtures, and he looked very threatening in the first week. He looked very good after Darwin Núñez went off, actually, and obviously scored a great goal with a very low XG. But after this week, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, Wolves, that's a great fixture run. So potentially Luis Diaz, and obviously, yeah, with Darwin Núñez out, he was looking very threatening, so definitely one to look out for. Saka, I've not been as impressed by, despite having good fixtures coming up. The underlying stats haven't quite been there. Kulusevski's been looking good. I mean, if I'd rank them, I'd probably go the best pick right now, I think, is Diaz. Saka and Kulusevski are fairly similar, and maybe Maddison behind them. But to be fair to Maddison, he's someone that does get a bit overlooked. Mark, thoughts on my team? Ward, Trent Cancelo, Reece James, Zinchenko, very solid defence. Salah, Grealish, Martinelli, Andreas Pereira, Haaland, Jesus, Sub Sanchez, Trippier, Neto, Archer. Very solid team. Apart from Grealish, I'd probably look to move him out. Even when he starts, he doesn't get into great positions. So I think I'd leave him out. I've decided if you've got a free transfer, maybe you can pull one there. Harry Doherty, Vardy, captain. Could prove to be a nice pick, this one. What time is Leicester playing? It's night as well. Yeah, perfect. That's a great fixture. Captain Jesus or Salah currently has Jesus as captain. Interesting, yeah. So he's another, definitely two great picks. We've gone Salah. We've actually given Han the vice captain as well, so we'll have to see. I can see definitely the temptation to go for Jesus as captain after 19 points last week. I'm not sure he's going to be able to recreate that massive amount of points tally. Bournemouth looked solid at home as well. Just to know, Bournemouth looked solid at home against Aston Villa in the first week of the season, just to keep that in mind. Zinchenko, Cucurella. I mean, I think I got asked this question in another video as well. For the short term, for the next 3 weeks, I prefer Cucurella because I think he should start the next 3 weeks whilst Chilwell builds up some match fitness, because that seems to be the general consensus from what Tuchel's been saying, that just Chilwell's not match fit right now. So Cucurella is probably a shout to start the next 2 or 3 games, where we'll just pull up Chelsea's fixtures here with Reece James, Leeds, Leicester, Southampton. 3 great fixtures to target, and he's already got himself an assist when he was playing, so you'd expect Cucurella. I'd expect him to be a better short-term option, but longer-term I think Zinchenko, just the nailed-on starting minutes. Arsenal have got a great extended fixture run. I mean, yeah, up until game week 9, really, it turns a little bit. Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds, and then Man City. So, yeah, from now until game week 8, I'd like Zinchenko, but if you want to take a short-term punt, Cucurella could be the go. Kieran, my plan was to captain Son this week, but I also have Tony, Jesus, Haaland. I think Jesus will blank the compact defence, and Haaland has a tough fixture, no Salah. Yeah, Son could be a good one against Wolves, although, yeah, I wouldn't totally doubt that Wolves defence. I think it's still fairly solid. But I'd be definitely going between, Son, Jesus, Haaland. I did Cash and Bailey out to Ake and Martinelli, keeping Mahrez for one more week. Yeah, Martinelli is definitely a good move. Ake's probably got 2 or 3 more weeks left, I believe, before Laporte comes in. I think Laporte was expected back game week 6. Let me double check. 3rd of September. So game week 6, yeah, so potentially 3 more weeks for Ake, and then you can move him out when he starts getting rotated. Keeping Mahrez, hopefully he starts for you, because he's obviously very good when he starts, but I'll have to say, couldn't provide too much in that Bournemouth game. Ben, who's on the watch list for when fixtures turn on a few weeks? Who have you got your eye on? Well, we'll pull up the fixture schedule real quick. I'll get the FDRs. So Brentford have got great fixtures all the way through now until we'll tab across. What, game week 9? Yeah, so the Brentford have got a good extended fixture run. I think Crystal Palace was one that also had a decent fixture turn. Right, there they are. Game week 6, Newcastle, Manchester United, Brighton, Chelsea's tough after that. They go on Leeds, so potentially those Crystal Palace boys as well could be nice picks. Arsenal have got a good run up to game week 8. We'll just have to see who formulates or as good options, really. We'll have to see as we go throughout the game weeks. Man City got good fixtures all the way through there as well. The Leeds lads have got a good fixture turn here. As we touched on before, we'll be looking out for those Leeds players, Rodrigo, Aronson this week, Harrison as well. Actually has attempted the most assists out of any player. Otherwise, that'd be pretty much that. Apart from this Newcastle fixture on here, Manchester City, Wolves, Liverpool, they've got a good run after that. So those would be some teams that I look for. Should I start Ben Mee or Rodrigo? Actually, tough pick. Ben Mee's got a good fixture. Fulham away. I've been hyping up Rodrigo though, so potentially him. I've got 4.5 mil. Who's better, Ben White or Saliba? I think Saliba's a bit better. Tomiyasu could potentially come back this week. But he's fit. He's fit this week. Whether he actually plays, though. I'll look at Arsenal's predicted lineup for you. Yeah, they've actually got Ben White dropping to the bench and Tomiyasu coming in at right back. So they think Arsenal's back four is going to be Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko. So that's something to note. And then, yeah, obviously front three, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli. Very, very solid front three. So for that reason, I go Saliba. I'm going to do Neto to Diaz. Nice. Robertson to Zinchenko. Yeah, also a good move. Yeah, I like both those moves. Should I start Ward or Raya? I'd start Raya. That's our dilemma as well, but Leicester defence, I still think they're going to concede against Southampton at home. It's just very dodgy defence. So here, Ake's been solid out. Pep will play Laporte straight away. Yeah, we'll have to see what he does, because he could go for Ake as the Premier League defender and then just go Laporte in the Champions League. We'll have to see. But there is always a risk there with rotation. Perisic playing. I think he's most likely to play this week out of any of the 3 weeks so far, for sure. I can't say he's 100% nailed, but I think he's probably most likely to play this week. Mark Castelli's 0.7 mil in the bank. Who would you bring in for Grealish? Well, if you don't have Martinelli, first of all, I think he's a nice pick. Gross, also you can drop down and get more money in the bank. He's also a nice pick. 7.7, you won't be able to afford any 8 mil players. Otherwise, yeah, I like those two options. You don't have either of them. So lads, Jesus captain here. Yeah, definitely a popular pick amongst a lot of people so far, actually. Well, let's have a look. Who's everyone going with as their captain? Salah 46%, Jesus 39%, and other 16%. If you chose other, let me know who you're going with as captain. It'll be interesting to see. Definitely surprised me a bit there. A lot of people are going Jesus. Very similar amount of votes to Salah. So here I'm going to wildcard Gameweek 9 anyway. If anything goes, sort out there. That's a fine plan. That's a good thing. You can take more risks in the short term now just because you have the extra wildcard. I'm going with a differential pick for captain with Son instead of Jesus or Haaland. What do you think? Yeah, also a great fixture. Wolves at home is definitely a good fixture. That's for sure. He performed well. He got an assist in his first home game, so yes, another nice differential pick. Who would you recommend downgrading Robertson to Cucurella? Yeah, it could be a nice one as well. I think Cucurella could outscore Robertson in the next 3 weeks, potentially. Chelsea, Leeds, Leicester, Southampton. I know Liverpool, they got a tricky one this week, but then Bournemouth and Newcastle was nice. I think they'd score fairly similar. If not, maybe Cucurella could outscore him. So yes, you could say the extra 2 mil. To be honest, any of the captain choices could do well. It's a bit of a risk. Yeah, it can. Yeah, it does come down to a little bit of luck as well. With Salah, he does well against Manchester United. He did very well against them last time at Old Trafford. At Liverpool, I remember Liverpool just smacked Manchester United last time they played at Old Trafford. And so I'm hoping for more of the same. But yeah, there's a lot of good captains this week, to be fair. The Arsenal lads got a good fixture. You could go the Man City players, Newcastle away, Haaland, De Bruyne, Cancelo. And a couple of people going for Son as well against Wolves at home is a great fixture. Ake or Walker besides Cancelo? I think Walker probably has a higher chance of starting than Ake. I'll double check. Actually, I'll pull up the Man City predicted lineup because I saw a comment before about Mahrez, and I've seen a couple of people with Grealish in the side as well. So I'll look at Man City's predicted team. It's going to be good to see how they go against Newcastle because obviously they're a much improved team this year. So hopefully it's a good game. Kukurea or Zinchenko. I touched on this before. I think Kukurea is a better short-term pick for the next 3 weeks. I think Kukurea will outscore Zinchenko. But if you're looking for an option up until game week 8, I think Zinchenko is better because I think he's a higher chance of starting over that time. And he's got a better extended run of fixtures. So yeah, short-term Kukurea, long-term Zinchenko. Alright, for the Man City predicted lineup, let's see what Fix say. They've got the back four, same as usual. Walker, 98% chance to play. Ake, 70% chance. Diaz, 100%. Cancelo, 100%. Their current front three they've predicted is Mahrez, Haaland, Grealish. So Foden to be benched once more. Just interesting. Grealish has the lowest percentage chance of starting in their front three, 63%. Foden, 41%. In the left wing spot. So we'll have to see about that. But yeah, definitely Walker's a higher percentage chance than Ake. Avoided them Bailey to De Silva, nice. And maybe Trippier to Perisic. Walker or Kukurea, what do you think? Yeah, Perisic, he's obviously got a massive potential for points. I think he should be starting this week. So if you wanted to go for a very risky pick, you could go Perisic. Otherwise, I think Walker and Kukurea about even. Walker's probably going to get more clean sheets, but Kukurea has got better attacking potential. Would you start... If I had Perisic in my team, yeah, I'd start Perisic, Ethan. Yeah, 100%. If he's in my squad, then I'm starting him this week. I think you'd be gutted if you leave him on the bench and he gets a clean sheet, maybe in a goal or assist or something, because, yeah, his positioning is very good. Would you start Nico Williams or Andreas Pereira? I'd probably start Andreas Pereira, I think. He's got the highest average attacking position for Fulham this year, Andreas Pereira. And yeah, Nico, he was very attacking last week, Nico Williams, but away to Everton, you'd expect Everton to score against Forest. I mean, Forest did get a clean sheet last week, but I thought they were very fortunate. Dean Henderson bailed them out with a penalty save. West Ham had a disallowed goal and 2 shots off the crossbar, which landed on the goal line, which were very close to going in. So yeah, West Ham could have easily had two or three goals at least in that game. So I think I'd stick with Andreas Pereira. Has De Silva double price rise? I'll just check for you. I know he's at least gone up once. Just gone up the once, 4.6. Grealish for Gross, yeah, good call. Gundogan in a new role is tempting over Foden. Yeah, 100%. I actually was liking him after game week 1, and then he's got the return in game week 2. He's playing that box to box very well once again. Good attacking position. He played in a good ball to Foden. He played in a good ball to Haaland in the first week of the season when Haaland won the penalty. And yeah, I've really liked his positioning. It was similar to 2 seasons ago how he was playing when he went on that elite scoring run. So yeah, one to watch out for definitely. If he can get more nailed minutes, that'd be really good. Fix have got him at an 82% chance to play again. I mean, he could be another nice midfielder option. Definitely one to look out for. Jesus for captain again. Let's look at the poll. Sellers climbed up to 55%. Jesus 33. And a couple of votes for other as well. Who to swap Trippier for? You could go for one of the Chelsea lads like Cucurella or Kyle Walker at 5. Otherwise, as someone else touched on, you could go up to Perisic or a Tottenham defender if you want to take the risk. Or Zinchenko around the same price. If you don't have him, he's also a nice option. So yeah, definitely lots of good defender options around that price. So he's a fairly flexible player to be able to move in and out of the squad. Grealish worth a transfer keep. He is expected to play this week. So maybe you can roll the dice with him against Newcastle away, but it's always a massive risk. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, Pascal Gross would be the man that I'd be looking at. Would you take the -4 for Walker or Cucurella if I play Andreas Pereira? Do you think anything on his injury? I think he should still start. I'll just double check Fulham's predicted team. So it looks like, yeah, still a 92% chance to play according to Fix, which is obviously very convincing. So I'd expect him to start again. It didn't seem like a major injury. It just seemed like a knock. Wasn't too much. Gross or Grealish? Gross, Neto or Andreas? I'd start Andreas Pereira this week. Do I sell Trippier? We're keeping him because he's got Man City this week, but then Wolves away in Gameweek 4 is a nice fixture actually. You could potentially get a clean sheet in that one. Liverpool away in Gameweek 5 is tough. I mean, if you've got no other issues with the squad and you've got a free transfer available, or 2 free transfers available, then yeah, that could be a nice aggressive transfer to make. You should maybe go for Zinchenko or a Cucurella or a Walker or someone like that. Start De Silva or Andreas Pereira. I'd start Andreas Pereira. De Silva scored 2 goals. Very, very lucky goals that he scored. Well, fortunate really, especially with that De Gea one, the handling error. And then there was a very, very, very good goal in the first week of the season. Very low XG goal. Andreas Pereira is getting into better positions. He's on corners, which he definitely has more attacking potential, Andreas Pereira, so I'd start him. Start or bench De Silva versus Neto. I'd start Neto and bench De Silva. Start Andreas or Dean. I mean, Aston Villa defense has not been convincing. Crystal Palace away, honestly, it's a tough fixture. I wouldn't necessarily put that as a 2 on the FDR, so honestly, Andreas Pereira could be a better starter for this week. Gross for Neto. It's a good move. Bring Rodrigo in from Leeds, or should I wait? I think I'd wait this week just because they've got a tricky fixture of Chelsea. I'd watch him this week, see how he goes. If he performs again, then maybe you can pull the trigger on that move. Otherwise, I'd just watch him and have a look at him for this game week. Is Harry Kane worth making captain this week? A good differential captain. I think there are better picks, like Salah and Jesus even. But if you want to go for him as a differential, I don't see why not. Nelvin, is it worth moving from Bailey to De Silva? Yes, in a sense, except they've both had those price changes, so it's probably less appealing now. You'd probably be better like going up to Pascal Gross now, I guess, because you're only getting 0.3 in the bank extra, which is not excessive, so it's not actually that much of a downgrade anymore. Thoughts on Tony as an option? Definitely very impressed with Tony so far. I think he could be a great pick. We could actually move him into our squads. 0.1 short, so 7.1. Yeah, we only got 1.5 in the bank, so we couldn't quite get Tony in, but I've really liked him so far. A lot of attacking returns, 3 attacking returns already. And look at this extended fixture run for Brentford, so definitely one to look out for on the wildcard team if you're switching to a 3-forward formation or you want to bring him in. I think he's a great pick. Have one free transfer, Matty Cash to Dunk or Henry. I mean, I'd look at, like, if you don't have Zinchenko already, similar price, you could go him or Cucurella or Walker, all at 5 million. I'd probably prefer all three of those lads compared to Dunk or Henry. Vice captain is essential this week. Man United versus Liverpool could be postponed. We'll have to see. It's a big call to make. Keep or sell Mahrez. I think he's probably a sell. You're just too inconsistent with his starting. You never know whether he's going to play or not. It's frustrating with him. We were really considering him at the start of the season just because he's got such good underlying stats, but you just never know whether he's going to play. I think he's a good sell. Mustafa, Luis Diaz for Grealish, and Reed for Thiago for a -4. I'd do Luis Diaz for Grealish. I wouldn't do that Reed for Thiago move, though. Is Saliba a decent cheap option to Zinchenko? 100%. Yeah, I think Saliba will be in that starting Arsenal back four now. I think he's going to replace Ben White for that centre-back spot, and Tomiyasu is going to come in for the right-back spot. If I had to guess the Arsenal back four, I think it will actually be Zinchenko and then Tomiyasu and right back as the fullbacks, and then Saliba will be starting in centre back with Gabriel. I have one free transfer. Should I keep Walker or switch to Cucurella? I'd keep Walker. I wouldn't use a free transfer just because you have one. I think Walker's still a great pick in his own right. Vivek, on the cash question earlier, I don't have cash in the bank, so only a 4.5 defender right now. I mean, Brentford got a good fixture, so you can maybe go for Henry. He's not a bad 4.5. Otherwise, the Wolves defense after this week, they have good fixtures. Maybe they've got a couple of decent 4.5 options. Otherwise, Arsenal with Saliba at 4.5, as we touched on, 4.6. I'm not sure if he's changed. 4.5, so he could be worthwhile going for as well, actually. I would expect him to be starting in the Arsenal team. That's a great way to get a very solid defence ticked off. No one should captain anyone who plays in the first match. Yeah, it tends to be a lower scoring game. Definitely just hold the transfer and keep Walker. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. I reckon that's a good move. All right, there's the squad. Let's go back to the team. Also, just a recap, we got 72 points, game week 2. Captain Haaland, Cancelo did well, Trippier did well, Jesus obviously did well, Martinelli, Raya. 1.5 mil in the world. Nothing crazy, but after 2 weeks, not too fussed about that. Definitely looking to push in at least to the top 1 mil this week. Solid team this week. It could definitely be interesting with Andreas Pereira and Patterson both starting this week. That could be interesting. See how that goes. Bench Trippier and Bailey there. I think Trippier won't get a clean sheet or an attacking return. I think Bailey will come off the bench. So that's why I've gone with that. Hopefully Everton get a clean sheet, because that'd be a nice differential to get points and that boost the rank up a bit. And then Andreas Pereira, Brentford at home. Hopefully he does something, because there should be a decent balance of him getting starting and bench this week. If he can get a return, that'd be nice for a rank. Otherwise, everyone else is fairly template. Saka is probably the most differential player in the team, 17.9%, and Raya, 6.2%. Otherwise, pretty much everyone's got Trent, Reece James, Cancelo, Salah, Martinelli, Jesus, Haaland. That's kind of the staples of the team right now. Who are we captaining? Salah. Is Sanchez a decent option for GK? Yeah, 100%. Him and Raya are probably my favourite 4.5 options. I like Raya a little bit more. I think Brentford's defence is very solid. He's got a great save potential. He's already shown it this year. He's picked up some save bonus. Who do I start out of Nico Williams, Bailey, and Andreas? I'd probably start Andreas Pereira. In your opinion, who is better captain this week? Salah, De Bruyne, or Jesus? Well, we've gone with Salah and Haaland on the vice, so we'd have to say Salah. I'm planning on taking out Bailey. Which Brentford midfielder should I get? I mean, if you don't have Pascal Gross from Brighton, I think he's probably a better pick than those Brentford mids. Otherwise, look out for Damsgaard, see how he goes. I wouldn't bring him in just yet, just assess how he performs. Get a bit of information about him. Neto to Gross now, or Bailey to De Silva now, and Neto to Gross next week. I probably wouldn't do Bailey to De Silva anymore, just because you're not really freeing up that much money in the bank anymore. You're getting 0.3 mil in the bank compared to 0.5, which you were getting previously, which is obviously a lot more. So if I had to make a move now, it'd be Neto to Gross. Who to play from Mahrez, Bailey, and Nico? It's a tough one. I'd probably start Mahrez and hope that he starts for Man City, and hopefully that he doesn't come off the bench. Even if he does come off the bench for like 20 minutes, I prefer him coming off the bench for like 20-25 minutes compared to Bailey coming off the bench. I don't think Nico Williams will go clean sheet. Ward or Sanchez this week? I mean, Ward's got Southampton at home. I'm not impressed with the Leicester defence. Brighton, West Ham away. To be fair, it's not an easy fixture either. I'd still go Sanchez, to be honest. I think Brighton's defence has looked really good so far. And West Ham have been a little bit out of sorts. Couldn't score against Forest, although they were unlucky not to score. Haven't actually scored a goal this season, West Ham, to be fair. So I'd start Sanchez. Dallin, I've played my wild card and have De Silva. Who should I transfer him out? Should I transfer him out? Or should I keep him? On your wild card, I'd probably transfer him out. Yeah, on a wild card, I'll look for someone else potentially. Also, lads, if you're enjoying the live stream right now and you want to support a channel, can we try and hit 9k subscribers on the stream? I think we're 20 away. We're 8.98 right now. It'd be hype. It'd be hype if we could hit 9k subscribers on the stream before the deadline. That'd be class. So yeah, if you're enjoying the content, enjoying the stream, subscribe really helps out. United, Giawo, Walker and Diaz, or Perisic and Mount. I'm a bit dubious on Mount so far, and Perisic's got that slight doubt about him, so I'd lean towards Walker and Diaz there. I think it's a safer pick, a bit more certainty around those two. Aaron, who's the best Robbo replacement to free up some funds for my midfield? Yeah, I think Cucurella is a nice one for the next 3 weeks. Zinchenko's a nice one. Arsenal have got a good extended fixture run. Kyle Walker, I'd expect him to be still be getting decent starting minutes for Man City. If you don't have Reece James, we went Robertson down to Reece James. There's $1 million. So definitely a lot of good replacements. How long West Ham scored? Yeah, I meant in the Premier League. Haven't scored a goal yet in the Premier League. Couldn't score against Man City, which, to be fair, not many teams, a lot of teams struggle with that. But couldn't score against Forest. So I think Brighton could potentially be on for a clean sheet. I've been impressed with how Brighton have played so far. They're just a team that there's a lot of potential there. Just got to live up to it. On the bench, Dewsbury Hall or De Silva. I'd probably bench De Silva and play Dewsbury Hall. Obviously, De Silva's got himself a couple of goals, but there's a bit more certainty around the starting minutes of Dewsbury Hall and his attacking potential. Also, the one with De Silva is I'm not sure how long he's going to continue starting for. Yes, he's made a good start to the season, and he should be starting like the next 1 or 2, but he doesn't typically start for Brentford, and especially with the signing of Damsgaard, he could drop to the bench. So just something to look out for there. Thoughts on Cucurella? I think he's a great pick. He should be starting for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Obviously Tuchel made those comments about Chilwell's fitness, so I think Cucurella will be the preferred option for the next 2 games, and hopefully 3, because Chelsea have got good fixtures in that time. Leeds away is nice. Leicester at home, they've been struggling a little bit. And Southampton away. So I think 3 quality fixtures there. Chelsea's defences look solid so far as well. A bit unlucky with the goals they conceded to Tottenham. Obviously there's a lot of controversy around that, but I think the defences look solid. Would you transfer De Silva for Pereira? I probably wouldn't make that transfer. I don't think it's worth the transfer doing roughly a 4.5 player to another 4.5. I think there's definitely better transfers to be made, or to saving that transfer. I think it's probably going to be more worthwhile. Yeah, and hey, I'm on a wild card. Darwin red card ruined my team structure after I was doing greedy early transfers. Opinions on Perisic. I'm tempted on having a go at him since rumours he'll be starting. I think he should, out of any week so far this season, I think this is definitely the most likely week he's going to be starting. So, if I had to say right now, is Perisic going to be starting, yes or no, I'd be leaning slightly to more towards yes, he's going to get a go this week. And there's so much potential with that man. So, Kane in. I wouldn't transfer Kane in. I think I need to see a little bit more from him before I bring him into the squad. So I hold off on bringing Kane in just for now. Don't get why people are captaining Jesus, because if he blanked like last week in Gameweek 1, nobody would captain him. Yeah, it's definitely a bit of knee-jerk associated with the Jesus 19-pointer last week, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, I think people are slightly sleeping on the quality of Bournemouth's defence. Most clean sheets in the Championship last season. Clean sheet in their first home game this season. They may make it a little bit difficult for Arsenal to score. I still think Arsenal should score, but I think Bournemouth will make it a bit more tricky than people think. Alexander, whereabouts in Australia are you from? We're from Melbourne. Are you from Australia as well, mate? So, yes, that means that all the Premier League games are very cooked times for us. Let's look at the schedule for us this evening. We've got Wolves, get behind the lads at 9:30. Goal Rush at midnight. Arsenal games at 2:30, so we'll be staying up for that. Next night, games 11, Man City 1:30, and then the best time for the game is 5 a.m. That is possibly one of the worst times. 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. is the worst time, because you can't really go back to sleep after the game finishes and you're just exhausted. So yes, the schedule's a bit tough. Martin, alright, dude, I'm back with another tough one. If you could have had Mane last season for 8, would you have went with Trent, Robbo and Diaz? I'm confused. I'd go at least Trent. Mane for 8. How do you go last season? I would have taken Mane for 8. Yeah, probably over Diaz. I reckon. Is that your question? Why is everyone transferring Bailey? Surely just save up 2 transfers. Is there really need to transfer to De Silva? I don't think now. Yeah. To answer, there's a couple of questions about that. Right now, I wouldn't be transferring Bailey to De Silva. It's not worth it anymore, because the 0.3 in the bank is not as good as the 0.5 earlier in the week. Do not captain Salah. He's not playing, got injured. Yeah. Alright. Andreas or De Silva? I'd start Andreas. He's got higher attacking potential than De Silva. I think De Silva's got some lucky attacking returns so far, especially with that De Gea mistake. As we touched on, Pereira is a lot more attacking, and I think he's more likely to start, especially with the signing of Damsgaard to Brentford. I'll be looking out as far as De Silva's starting minutes. I think they're definitely a bit more of a risk now. Another lad from Australia, so mad Liverpool at the 5 a.m. game. Yeah, it's a tough game to get up for. Gross versus West Ham, I like it. I think, West Ham haven't made the best start to the season so far. They did concede a lot of chances, actually, to Nottingham Forest. I think Nottingham Forest XG for that game was like 1.7 or 1.8, so definitely could have easily had 2 goals in that game. Forest, so yeah, that's not a bad fixture. Cucurella and Edison, Perisic and Mendy, or Raya and Robertson. Oof. Cucurella and Edison. I think as far as the goalkeeper picks go, Man City get the most clean sheets out of Man City, Chelsea and Brentford, and then Cucurella is probably the best value defender there. Is De Silva going to start? Good question, actually. We'll just pull up the predicted team. I mean, currently they don't have him starting, but I don't think that's accurate. I think this week De Silva could still start. I think De Silva's probably got maybe 1, maximum 2 more weeks of starting before he drops back to the bench again. Is Haaland a Game Week 3 differential for captain? Nobody seems to be mentioning him too much. Yeah, I think he could be a decent differential captain, just because based on the poll, at least so far, 320 votes currently. If you haven't put your vote in for captain, let us know who you're going for. Salah's strong favourite, nearly 60%, then Jesus. So, yeah, 90% of the votes on the captains right now have been either Salah or Jesus. So, looking at that information, Haaland could be a nice differential. He's got returns in his first 2 games, so he obviously didn't look great against Bournemouth. He was definitely... The centre-backs there were getting very tight to him, paying some close attention to him. Whether Newcastle do the same kind of thing, we'll have to see. But I think when Bournemouth did that, it just freed up too much room for De Bruyne to run the game. Two to start with, Perisic, De Silva, Andreas, or Rodrigo. I'd start Perisic, and... Rodrigo against Chelsea's not great, so toss up between him and Andreas, but I think I'd start Perisic out of those 3 and just hope he plays. I think he's a decent chance of playing this week. Fixtures look good for Brighton. Yeah, Brighton and Brentford have got good extended fixture runs, actually. So will Andreas definitely start? Yes, I think he will. 92% chance to start Andreas Pereira is, according to Fantasy Football Fix, so like those chances. Alexander, thoughts on my wildcard team? Sanchez, Cucurella, Walker, Cancelo, Trent, Martinelli, Saka, Kulusevski. Double Spurs attack. Nice. Jesus, Tony. No Haaland. Obviously, no Haaland's risky. Maybe since you've already got Kulusevski, you can go Haaland instead of Kane. That'd be the only thing, just because bit risk there. Are you not afraid of Manchester United protests will cancel the game? Chef from Hong Kong. Nice. We'll have to say I'm not massively concerned. Regardless, if it gets postponed, then the vice captain is on Haaland. So it's like the captain's going to Haaland anyway. So as far as captaincy goes, if it gets postponed, then it's just going to go to Haaland anyway. So it doesn't really matter. If Salah plays, then I want him as my captain. If it gets postponed, then who cares? Because Haaland's going captain anyway. So yeah, wouldn't try and focus on that too much. Cucurella, Reece James to save 1 mil in the bank. I'd probably not make that transfer. I don't think it's worth the transfer. Yes, you're saving the money, but the value of that transfer that you could be using later on, it's probably not as good right now. So I think I'd hold on to Reece James. Is it worth transferring out Saka for Martinelli? Martinelli's just way better value than Saka, so I can see the temptation there. Saka's still a good option in his own right, though. If you can maybe get Martinelli in for someone else, be preferable. Mark my words, West Ham will win today. We'll have to see it from them. Hopefully they bounce back. It's good to see their stadium rocking again, for sure. Daniel, tempted to captain Son over KDB, Salah, Jesus. Melbourne, come on then. Yeah, it's a great fixture. Wolves at home, definitely a very good fixture for Tottenham. Looking at our defence this year, it's not great from our defensive standpoint so far this year. We probably should have conceded to Fulham. Jose Sarr bailed us out with a pen save, so I can see Son being a nice differential for sure. Hey, I think he's, out of the people that have voted other in the poll, it seems to be Son as one of the more popular options for other. I think him and Haaland would be 2 popular ones. Saka or Martinelli? I think Martinelli is a better FPL option just because he's cheaper. Richard, what do you think? Edison, Trent, Gabriel, Reece James, Walker, Dyer. Very strong defence. Mount, Martinelli, Salah, Jesus, Haaland. Yeah, very strong team. Very strong team. Mason Mount would be the only slight concern there, but we'll have to see how he goes. Leeds away. He does very well against Leeds, actually, historically. So, yeah, is Gundogan better than Walker in terms of tripling up on Man City? It's tough to read into how Gundogan's going to go. He's made a great start this season, that's for sure. If he continues his nice kind of positioning of that box to box, getting into those nice attacking spots, then maybe I prefer Gundogan. But for now, I think Walker's, he's probably a high chance of starting the Gundogan. He's nailed that spot down. He's locking those clean sheets. So for now, I'd stick with Walker, but definitely look out for Gundogan in the future. If the game gets cancelled, you have 2 players not playing. Well, yeah, I'm not going to go out of my way to transfer out the Liverpool players. And I'm also not going to go bench Alexander-Arnold and Salah and then look like a mug if the game goes ahead. Because, regardless, Trippier, he's a playing player on the bench, and Bailey, he'll come off the bench to play. I'd hope at least. So I mean, if the game gets cancelled, then I'm in good hands with the bench. But I wouldn't read into that too much. I'd still be starting Liverpool players, and if you want to captain Salah, I'd still be captaining him. Start Neto, Bailey, or Andreas Pereira. Honestly, Andreas Pereira could be the better option this week. Was taking a -4 for Tony good? I mean, I wouldn't be keen on a -4 for Tony, but I think Tony's a good option. 100% is a good option, but I wouldn't necessarily take a -4. What to do with Kulusevski? Definitely a strong hold. I think he would not be going anywhere in the team. If you've got him, if you've got him in the side, keep him. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy him if you don't have him. I think, give him this week, Wolves, and then you go from there after he's got a bit more information about him. Replacements for Mahrez, 5 mil in the bank. Wow. I have Mount, Salah, Neto, and Andreas. Well, honestly, Martinelli, if you don't have him in, good pick. Diaz at the same price, good pick. Kulusevski at the same price, good pick. I think Martinelli is probably an essential one because so many people have him. Who can be Neto alternatives? I think Pascal Gross is definitely the best Neto alternative for sure. He's got good underlying stats. He's got the highest expected FPL points so far out of any player, Pascal Gross. And he's one of the highest scoring players so far. 7.6% ownership. He's already seen the double rise up to 5.7, but Brighton have got great fixtures. I mean, now until Gameweek 12, just got that probably 2 tricky ones there, Liverpool away and Tottenham at home. But at least for the immediate future, West Ham's not the worst fixture. Leeds and Fulham, great fixtures. Leicester's defence has been dodgy. And then Bournemouth is a great fixture. And then Palace at home, not a bad one either. So I think I'd like him at a similar price to Neto. Probably the best pick around that price point right now, I'd say. Perisic and Patterson to Walker and Cucurella worth a -4. I'm not sure because I think Perisic has a decent chance of starting this week. So if you have money in the bank, you can maybe go Patterson to Walker or Cucurella, but I think I'd hold on to those 2 players this week, Perisic and Patterson. Trippier to Cucurella or Robbo, plus Bailey to Martinelli and Walker. Yeah, I think Bailey... so Trippier to Cucurella or Robbo and Bailey to Martinelli and Walker. If you have 2 free transfers available, I go Robbo and Bailey. If you just got the 1 free transfer, Trippier to Cucurella. I think it's important to have Martinelli in the team if you can get him in. Definitely at least Bailey for Martinelli and make that move. Dallin, thoughts on the wildcard team? Sanchez, Saliba, James, Cancelo, Trent, Martinelli, Salah, Gross, Jesus, Haaland, Tony. Very strong team. I love it. Triple captain Jesus worth it this week. I'd still wait for the double game weeks to come. That's for sure. There'll be double game weeks later in the season where Salah or Liverpool have got a great fixture. Lads, we're on 8.99k. If you haven't subscribed and you're liking the content, can we try and hit 9k on stream? We're so close. 8.90. Let me pull up the exact amount. Yeah, it'd be high if we can get it before the deadline. 9k before the deadline would be so good. $8,993. 7 more. Come on. 7 more, surely. That's possible. Look at the captain's stats. Jesus 30%, Salah 57%. Other still 14, so Salah's still a strong favourite. Robbo and Bailey to Martinelli and Walker or Perisic? I mean, Walker's definitely the safer pick. If you're looking for a risky one, then Perisic I wouldn't mind. Perisic has probably got more points potential than Kyle Walker, so I'd maybe slightly lean towards Perisic, but definitely approach that with some sort of caution. That's definitely a more risky pick. Thanks for the stream. Got to go. All good. All good. Yeah, here's the side this week. Otherwise, we'll have one free transfer next week. And with Trippier, he'll have, Wolves away. So that'll probably see us switch back to this. And then we're stuck with that situation that Patterson's currently starting still in the team because I'm not too keen on Bailey. Andreas Pereira this week. Next week Arsenal away, so it's a tough one. That'd probably see us then make that Bailey transfer next week with the one free transfer available. Keep using that one free transfer. After this week anyway, even if Bailey plays, he's not a good pick anymore just because of those fixtures. So that'll be the team next week. Assume we go probably Bailey to Pascal Gross. That'll be the move that we make. I think he's the best player in the price, as we touched on. And then Gross will start over Patterson. I think Patterson's still got a decent fixture. Yeah, Brentford away, still a decent fixture. But yeah, assume Leon Bailey is Pascal Gross. So I think that'd be how the team lines up. That's the sort of short-term transfer plan for now. I'll be happy with that. Hopefully Bailey doesn't go down by too much more, although I'm worried he might. I won't save that team. I'll make sure the team's all set up for this week. But that'll probably be our transfer plans over the next couple game weeks. And then, yeah, Mo Salah next week. Bournemouth at home. That's a strong captaincy contention. It's just got to be the captain next week, Mo Salah. But that's pretty much all we've got so far for today's stream. Thanks so much for everyone that has tuned in. Best of luck for Game Week 3, just around the corner. Hopefully everyone has a nice rank rise, does very well this week. Hopefully that Liverpool-Manchester United game still remains on. So, yes, definitely look out for all the future content that's going to come out this game week. We're going to have knee-jerk reaction tomorrow, buy, hold, sell Monday, some transfer targets Tuesday, then team selection, all that stuff coming up Wednesday and beyond. If anyone's got any final questions they want answered before the deadline, send them in real quick and I'll try and answer a couple rapid fire. Sandaru, thoughts on my FPL draft team? Ramsdale, Melier, Correa, Sanchez, Ake, Matip, Justin, Rodrigo, De Silva, Mount, Kulu, Haaland. Yeah, it's pretty. For draft, yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah, that is good. You got all the defenses, major defenses ticked off mostly. Firmino, Jimenez. Firmino, actually, yeah, he could be starting now, Firmino, to be fair to him. Jimenez is a nice pick as well. Perfect. All right, thank you so much to everyone that has tuned in once again. Look out for some future uploads. And with that being said,